You're listening to the North Star Sports Podcast, coming to you remotely from Geffre's house. You're listening to the North Star Sports Podcast, coming to you remotely from Geffre's house.
Slow moving.
What?
Inattentive.
What?
Dull.
What?
Shows a lack of motivation.
What?
Constantly snacking.
This is funny because he's fat.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
Are you ready?
No way.
Landed on the moon! Are you kidding me?
Homer, no function beer well without.
Christie kicks it high and short. Going to be fielded by Lorenzo Neal at the 25. Pitches it back to Wycheck. He throws it across the field to Dyson.
He's got something.
30,
He's got
40,
something.
50.
He's got it.
40.
He's got it.
20. 10.
He's got it.
End zone. Touchdown Titans. There are no flags on the field. It's a miracle. Tennessee has pulled a miracle.
Veganism is the sad result of a morally corrupt mind. Reconsider your life.
How did that guy know where to find you?
I assume he saw my name and address at the bottom of the letter I nailed to his door.
You signed your real name?
Of course I did. What's gonna happen? A vegan is gonna physically attack me? They are basically made of glass.
Gangsters, what's up, guys? Are you ready?
Woohoo!
You want to see a backhand toe eat?
Everybody on? Good. Great. Grand. Wonderful.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Doesn't matter where you are. This is the North Star Sports Podcast, where we continue to be the semi-pro of sports talk and sports radio. I'm Matt Geffre, the one who's been known to cuss just a little bit too much. Also, I've been told that I don't really do a lot of stuff on the show either, but I do some things. Alongside me, one and the only, the man who can literally hit a golf ball, to me, I think almost anywhere in this world. It is the cuddly, the most nicest looking guy ever, is Mr. Vince Wright, the sports governor himself. Vince, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm here. I am drinking a Busch Light. I have heard that you are... Don't stop hating me. It's too damn early. We just started the show, and you're already giving me shit already.
Busch Light. Busch Light. Come on, son.
Stop hating me.
You make some money? Spend it. Get some damn beer in that house.
Well, first of all, money. I got kids. Those kids, they take all that money. That wonderful child support says mine.
Wrap that shit.
Or get snipped.
You're getting to that age.
I'm okay. I'm okay getting snipped.
I did.
I'm sure you did.
Highly recommend it.
I'm literally trying to share our show right now because we're doing a live show, and so I'm trying to do this really quickly, and
you're finding out that you can't.
I can't do everything all at once. I can't run the show, have a microphone in my hands, have my phone in my hands. Oh, there we go, and just be like all hunky dory and stuff. It's kind of
you got to set up the auto share.
I do, but I can't share it to each different page. Plus, there's a whole bunch of other people who want to listen to the show too. So there's that. So I'm what you call like a very, very busy person, and my hands are like busy and stuff. So there we go. All right, now let me actually
busy with Busch Light beer.
Shut up! Fucking hate me already. God damn it. Justin would probably agree with me. He's a Malacca kid. He probably drinks enough Busch Lights. So there's that.
Let's hope not.
I bet he does. He's actually, I think Justin's more like a Nordy's type guy. He seems like a Nordy's. Or a vodka. He's a vodka guy.
Okay.
Were you around when he told that story about how drunk he got and his wife got pissed off at him?
Sounds familiar. I think I might have been.
Okay, well, when he comes back on, hopefully next week, because he's busy coaching his daughter's softball, I think, today. That's why he's not here. Otherwise, he would be. But we got new things that are happening to the North Star Sports Podcast. We'll talk about that in a couple seconds. Baseball is back. Some players are getting some COVID-19. We'll talk about...
It ain't back. It ain't back.
Shh. Hush.
That's what
Shut up. And we'll talk about some bubble balls, the Confederate flag, and then we got a very special player who is retiring after 22 years. And I have a great idea that one of the Twin Cities radio personality brought it up a couple days ago, and I actually thought about this maybe a week ago. And I'm really desperate probably to pull it off. And I'm pretty sure I can do it. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty enough. I'm strong enough. And gosh darn it, people like me. Get out of here. Anyways.
I'm sorry. Fell asleep there.
Well, you are kind of old. It makes sense. It is about past your bedtime.
It is about bedtime, but I think I got a little story that put me to sleep there. What was that?
One of my stories not put you to sleep.
A
lot of times. Yeah, there's been a lot. Last week we were not on air because some freaking reason my computer said it would not open up our system, and it kept saying that it was updating, but it wouldn't update. It just kept spinning. So I said, well, you guys said screw this, I just want to go. You were like, I'm done, whatever. I think Justin wanted to, but I think he got tired as well. So there's that.
Well, yeah, we were probably looking at a 9:30 finish time too. By the time it would be all set.
Dude, I get up around 5 o'clock every single day, and I go to bed till about 10ish. And I do about a 10.5 hour day every single day. Rush home either to get ready for baseball or to do something with the show. So that I literally have no time to myself anymore. Oh, poor baby. Oh, poor guy.
Have a bush light for me.
I will. So 2 weeks ago, I was approached on Northside Sports Podcast Twitter page about adding us to a new network. So me kicking the tires and taking my time with it, like typical Matt. Forgot to tell you guys that we're going to add a new network maybe about a couple days before I told you. And it was probably a week I already knew that we were going to do this. We added a new network called Twin Cities Network. What it is, it's basically just a bunch of podcasts, a bunch of live shows. They do live streams on there as well. If you haven't noticed, I probably sent you an invite already. It's about, gosh, how many shows does he have? This whole network has about, I think, 8 to 10 shows. And there's a studio possibly coming for us. We actually could be in studio again. Well, it's me being in studio again. So there's that. Man, I just miss being in the studio. I miss having fun. And I miss seeing your pretty face, though, too, Vince. Because
what person doesn't?
Aw. Well, your wife some days. Sometimes she just talks shit. That's why she leaves to go on those work trips. She's like, I don't want to see Vince.
Pretty much.
I'm pretty sure that she hacks your Facebook page, too. It says, I missed my wife.
Yeah, well, you know.
It is what it is. So yeah, the Twin Cities Network is there. We're happy to have them. So now I think we're on, let's see, so iHeart, Spotify, iTunes, Spreaker, of course. Now Twin Cities Network as well. So we're actually on a lot of different platforms. And there's 4 or 5 other little ones too. So we get a good reach. We talk a lot. People know us-ish. Not really. But people know us. Kind of, more or less. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of the network. There'll be more things coming out soon, but I'm happy that we're actually on a network again, and a local network as well too. So that's awesome. It's great. It's live. Even though North Star Sports Podcast, we're live. Don't worry about the name. Just go along with it. Baseball is back. Yes, it is. Baseball is going to have 60 games this year. Vince, what do you think about having 60 games for the MLB?
Meet me when it happens. It ain't happening.
You don't think it's happening?
No, I don't. I don't think it. I think right now the way it's looking and the way it's trending, it's going to be hard to pull off. And not only baseball, any of these sports. I mean, the NBA they want to do their bubble in Florida, and Florida's hitting their second wave again. And
if I get the
same
corona,
thing.
I get the corona.
Yeah, and then I mean, same thing in baseball. And no, now we got a few twins that tested positive, and this and that.
Boo.
So I think what people got to realize is, because initially when this thing broke, we pushed the death angle of it, right? You catch it, you die. It's over. You can't, got a week or two, and that's
plague.
it. Right. Yeah, exactly. But now that obviously we see that, the deaths mainly have come from the older population and stuff, but it's still being asymptomatic. Like all these players, they all say, hey, I had no symptoms, this, that, but test positive. So then what I worry about is then just kind of the big population. It's not so much the athletes, but, do they contaminate some kids? Maybe they're newborn kids or their parents or grandparents, things like that. And I think, Matt, long as you have numbers coming back the way they've been this past week, because that's what's really changed my mind about this, just the past week and how things have been trending with all this stuff. I mean, half the Clemson football team has coronavirus. I mean, how are you going to play a season?
Oh, well, it's Clemson. I don't care.
Well, besides them being, perennial national champions and then a top 5 program. But insert any college football team. I mean, how are you going to do that? Same with baseball. I mean, long as people are tested positive, it ain't going to happen.
I guess it's
maybe it shouldn't happen, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, we all want sports back. I get it, but we were kind of warned about some of this stuff, and so it looks like some of these states have opened too early. I'm not going to get into the politics,
Florida.
But the thing is, man. As long as people keep dying and tests coming back positive, I don't see how they're going to have a season.
I thought about this probably maybe a month ago. Pretty much at the peak of this, when the baseball thought about coming back in March, I literally thought to myself, like, all right, if shit hits the fan like it did like a couple weeks ago where everybody backed off, where they said, no, we're not doing this. Where the Player Association was not a fan of what they had. I was thinking, like, I'm okay not having a season. Screw it. Just shut it down for the whole year. I'm okay if baseball doesn't come back right now. Because all you do is going to bitch and white and fight about all this. And you're going to have little games to play. You're going to have 60 games. You want to crown somebody a World Series champion after 60 games? Yeah, I get you're going to take your ring and run with it because you got it. But it feels like there'd be an asterisk behind it. Yeah, I don't know. Just shut it down. Call it good for a year. Unfortunately, the NFL is not going to stop. That is a beast of its own. Unfortunately,
they may not have a choice, though. I totally agree with what you're saying and the money behind it and the billions and billions. But again, you got all these football players testing positive, and even Ezekiel Elliott, who tested positive, he was on. It may have been ESPN. I don't know what channel I had up kind of in the background during the workday here. But, yeah, he was talking about it, and, hey, it's got to be player safety first. Yeah. So I think that's kind of the changing dynamic of all this. And I get it, these owners are billionaires, but, when it comes to health, they don't necessarily get the call. So we will see. We'll see.
I'm okay.
But I'm not holding my breath.
I'm okay if the major sports take a back seat for a whole year.
You know what? I kind of agree with you now. I mean, just because, we're going to kind of try and get all these seasons and hurry up and get the seasons done real quick and playoffs and all this stuff. Yeah. Look, I'm no Dr. Fauci. I'm no president of the United States or whatever. So, but here's the thing. Maybe we should shut it down for a little while.
Just for a little bit.
Just see what we can do in terms of getting better health for the players and the people that are going to be inside these quote unquote bubbles. And, because a lot of the players, they're worried about their families. They're like, yeah, I'm going to be protected. I'm going down to Florida, this and that, but I'm not necessarily comfortable then being away from my families and young kids and newborn kids for some of these players, So, man, there's all kinds of other dynamics at play here that are really starting to surface now. And, since the killing of George Floyd, obviously we know how the dynamic in sports has changed since, I think it was a month ago yesterday that went down. So,
was that really a month ago already?
Things are just different in the sports world, and Matt, this second kind of coming of the coronavirus just may be enough to shut it all down.
We already talked about it. It's okay. I'm also go back to coronavirus. I'm okay. I mean, I'm not okay with it, but I'm actually surprised that more people are not sick, quote unquote sick, from the coronavirus yet. Like it hasn't spiked yet in Minnesota. I'm kind of shocked by that right now. Maybe not enough people have got tested yet. Maybe not enough people have been. I mean, maybe they have it. Maybe they don't yet. I don't know. But a lot of them were wearing masks. Especially you went to the memorial for George Floyd. They were wearing masks.
Yeah, definitely. I was over there, and I definitely had a mask. So I think anytime you're in a large group, man, just you can throw it on. It's okay. I know a lot of people don't want to do that. They see it as some type of sign of weakness, or they politicize the putting masks on and stuff. But here's the thing, man. All these states now are having kind of the second waves and stuff because it looks like, honestly, they reopened too early. I mean, Florida, all over the South, Texas, California. Now, California is on the verge of a second shutdown. So, we can argue the politics of it, and I wish people wouldn't do that because arguing over this politically has kind of gotten us to where we are. Yeah. Conservatives, you're making me wear a mask. You're taking away my civil liberties and all this. And liberal folks are looking at you like, if you don't wear a mask, who are you? You don't even belong on the planet and this and that. We can't even agree over a virus that, has gotten all these people sick and killed all these people. I mean, 120 people dead in the United States almost. And I get it, they were in old people, nursing homes. So their lives don't count. I mean, I don't know, man. It's a weird time that's going on right now. I've
always said that Mother Nature always comes out with like a super virus. Seems like every 10 years. Every 10 years, some like virus that tries to take out the humankind or the human population. To me, it's just Mother Nature is thinning out the herd. Unfortunately.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that take on it. I mean, fortunately, you haven't had parents or somebody die of this, and then have somebody come to your face and say, "Oh, hey, we're just thinning out the herd."
Not yet. I mean, I'm waiting for the day.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but the thing is, it ain't going nowhere.
No, it's not.
So we can kind of argue particulars out there, people, but the reality is it's here. It's staying here, unfortunately. I mean, I just got an email from, at work a couple days ago. Thought we were going to be going back to our office in a couple weeks. Nope.
Boo, is he still home?
I'm still working from home. I've been here since, it went down in March.
Damn.
And I mean, we're going into July next week.
Yeah, that we are. We'll talk about July stuff in a little bit, too.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's, I've kind of changed a little thought process on this because I get it, man. I want my restaurants and bars open. I want to get out. I want everybody out there having a good time. I want our sports back. But I don't know, man. And I'm also going stir crazy because I'm in my house 95% of the time.
Luckily, I benefit where my job is outside, because I would lose my shit quickly. I would probably lose my shit after a week.
It's a real deal, man, because I wake up and I'm a little more of a night owl, so being able to actually sleep in a little later is nice. I'm not going to deny that, but I come downstairs into my office. When I get off, I walk 10 feet to the couch to watch whatever show. It's all right here. And my job now, normally, most people would love to work from home. My job's a little different being in insurance is that, we have a lot of questions from our clients. And so we're always bouncing questions off of each other and this and that. So for me, being in the office is a lot more beneficial. But,
makes sense.
One day if I have the job where, I can be at home, that'd be nice too.
It makes sense. I don't blame you.
Oh, well, especially in the wintertime too, because nobody likes going outside.
No.
Nobody likes driving in winter weather. So, ain't gonna lie, that was a little refreshing.
I'm not gonna lie. I also hate working in Woodbury right now with that damn construction that's going on.
Oh yeah, lots of construction out here in Woodbury.
It was us and like 14 other guys from work trying to locate all those damn utility lines before they all started that, and that was a freaking nightmare. That was a 3-day stretch of just trying to get all that shit done. That was a long time. 14 guys were doing it. That sucked. But that was early spring where we didn't have a lot of shit going on yet. But still, it is busy. Construction crews are out. People are out. It doesn't really seem it seems busy, but not as busy. I do see people out all the time. For me, with my job, I'm outside constantly. I do see people outside either walking, jogging, or even biking. People driving, people out doing stuff. So there are people that are doing things. Restaurants are open. They're half capacity. You can go inside. Some places say you got to wear masks. Fine, wear a mask. If you don't want to wear a mask, you don't have to fucking go.
Well, no, that's the thing too, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the anti-maskers out there by any means, but if somebody does want to go somewhere and wear a mask, why do you got to talk shit about it?
Yeah, that's
because and vice versa. Don't sit there. If some place is requiring a mask and you don't want to go, don't go.
Yeah, don't go.
No need to get all upset and rush to your Facebook account and start posting. And
Walmart said I couldn't do this.
Exactly.
And?
Go somewhere else then that won't require a mask.
Yeah. I don't if you want to wear a mask, great. If you don't want to wear a mask, that's fine. I don't care. But don't get like the Walmart guy where this dude was an older guy, pushed this Walmart employee. Surprisingly, he didn't push back. Surprisingly, he didn't punch him back in the face because I would have handled that way different. But my rights being not being justified here. Dude, you look at it from a different side of it. Just because I understand your rights are being, or your rights are not being used correctly. I get that. Go somewhere else. There's other places where you can go. This is not the only Walmart you can possibly go to. There's other places. We're lucky here in Minnesota that a lot of places are open. Not a lot of places have full mask wears. Menards is the only place Menards and Costco is the only two places I could think off the top of my head, besides mom and pop restaurants that would require it or may not require it. Otherwise, I think that's the only two places I think of that actually requires Menards and Costco's.
Exactly, and quite honestly, if you're going to be around in kind of big crowds, just put it on, I guess.
Yeah.
Again, you don't
have to.
It's not so much about you as we could all be asymptomatic and maybe spreading it to an older person that doesn't quite have the immune system that we have or whatever the case is. And just do your little part. But again, if you don't want to go somewhere that doesn't, that's making you wear one, then go somewhere else.
When I go grocery shopping, I already avoid big crowds already because I don't like big crowds. So I try to I don't like going to Walmart unless I absolutely have to. So I try to go to a grocery store that's nearby, like here in Cannon Falls. Just a grocery store here, and I try to go when it's not crowded, obviously. And when I do have an older person walking by, I'm not going to lie, I literally hold my breath. I don't know why. Maybe I just feel like I don't want to get that person sick. I'm like, hold my breath and squeeze right by him and hope for the best. Maybe this sounds dumb, sounds childish, but I don't care. Let's move on to our next subject. We've been talking about this one for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so Twins players, some of them getting the coronavirus. They did not say if it's any major league players. So that kind of makes me wonder, like, where upon the ranks of Twins players is this actually affected or affecting players? Have you heard anything yet?
I haven't heard any names, but I think that's just going to be the problem. No, I think that there's just asymptomatic people out there, that have it, don't, feel great, no symptoms. And I think now that obviously since they're coming back, at least for right now with the spring training and everything, you'll start seeing positive test results.
It will happen.
Exactly. And, just like you're seeing in the PGA Tour this week with the golfers.
Caddies got it, right?
Caddies, a couple players now. Again, no symptoms, anything like that. They're out there, they're walking golf courses, excuse me. So, it's just tough. I really don't see it happening, but we'll see. And hopefully we'll find out maybe some names here, and we'll see. Yeah, like you were saying, if it's minor league players, if it's some guys on the big roster.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, people.
Speaking of that, before we go to break, I do want to bring up for town ball. So a lot of you know that I do play town ball. I still do play baseball here. Yesterday was our first home game of the year. We had at least 200 people there, including kids. And it was weird to see because, the announcer said, thanks to everybody for coming out, yada yada, and talk about the coronavirus. Make sure we stay a certain amount of distance apart. I didn't really see a lot of that last night. There were a lot of people still close together, and there's enough space where we could have. So I'm just and for us, even at players, we try to, but it is so hard to have yourself distance.
You're hitting exactly on my points, and whether it's you guys playing your town ball or the big guys in the MLB. It's the same thing. It's the proximity. Trainers. How are trainers supposed to do their jobs?
Yeah, true. It's that domino effect that a lot of people aren't really thinking about. They focus in on the players, but it's the whole support staff. The coaches, managers, assistant coaches, assistant managers. Whether it's the first base coach, you're all in proximity to each other at some point. Yeah.
And again, you may feel great and all this, but if you have it and a positive test comes back and you're kicked into that statistic, it's going to be hard for people to be like, okay, let's open up sports if positive tests keep coming back and those numbers keep rising.
True. All right, when we come back, we got some, let's see. What do we have coming up? We're talking about some Bubba Wallace, the Confederate flag. Congratulations to a player who's celebrating 22 years. I have a great idea that I want to post out there. I'm going to throw out there to you guys. Hopefully it goes well. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully I make some money off of it. We'll see about that. You're listening to North Star Sports Podcast right here on whatever you may be listening to. Pretty much a lot of different things, but pretty sure the Twin Cities Network.
Don't you have some kind of a line that you keep open for emergencies or for celebrities? I'm both. I'm a celebrity in an emergency. Can you patch me through on that line, please?
This is the all-new North Star Sports Podcast. Okay, kind of the same half-ass show like always, just more after this.
I swear, if Geffre starts rambling on about his dating life, I'm going to go out and catch the coronavirus. It's the North Star Sports Podcast.
Oh, hey there! Have you ever been to the website called Pick and Shovelware? It's a pretty cool website, Susie. You can buy all the pretty cool Minnesota sports apparel. Oh, and hey, you can get 20% off when you use that there promo code Northstar as well. Yeah, it's the pickandshovelware.com. Oh, wow, Randy Moss and the North Stars on it.
Well, what's there to talk about on a sports podcast with no sports? Well, I suppose we could talk about the Vikings of the past, about how like that Brett Favre guy. He was driving there and threw across his body and... wait, never mind. That one did not end well. It's the North Star Sports Podcast.
Hi, this is Dan Model, center fielder for the St. Paul Saints, and you're listening to North Star Sports Podcast.
Oh, jeepers. Why don't you like the North Star Sports Podcast on Facebook there, eh? It's better than Ludafisk, a tater tot hot dish, or your grandma's casserole there, eh?
Cock-a-doodle-doo, it's time for chicken.
Cock-a-doodle-doo, it's time for a feast. Eat a 90-piece bucket, you can tell.
He's been to Clucking Bell. The chicken is a bird with a tiny brain.
So we assume he doesn't feel any pain. We shrink their heads and we breed them fast. 6 wings, 40 breasts, and then they're gassed. Cock-a-doodle-doo, we're psychotic crazies. Cock-a-doodle-doo, factory farming's insane. We denied it all before a stock price fell. Come down to Clucking Bell.
Clucking Bell! If you enjoy it, the chicken didn't die in vain.
Coming to you remotely from Geffre's house on his computer. Trust me, you don't want to see the internet history on this thing. It's the North Star Sports Podcast.
Welcome back to North Star Sports Podcast. We're going to be the semi-pro of sports talk. A little Led Zeppelin for you. All of my love. So, as we talk about coronavirus, some twin stuff, some baseball stuff, some heavy shit still going on in this world. So, nothing's always perfect, and nothing ever will be perfect. But we do got some good news for you. Vince, what's going on with the pick and shovelware?
Pickandshovelware.com, people. 20% off. Promo code is North Star. Some of the coolest designs featuring the Minnesota, Twins, Vikings, Gophers. Big fan of the Kirby Bunyan, as I like to call it, design. But all kinds of great designs over there. So again, go over pickandshovelware.com. Put in North Star, and you will get 20% off your next purchase. Great hats, t-shirts. They got everything you need. Best in the biz, and definitely our friends. So make sure you check them out.
All right, so let's move on. Bubble balls and the Confederate flag. As we all know, that the past couple days, they found a noose that was in Bubba Wallace's garage stall, which I guess has been there for over a year.
Interesting.
I don't know how you could just.
Listen. I'm looking at the pictures right now, man, and I don't know. Okay, FBI, if that's what you're going with, I guess that's what you're going with. But this thing ain't no pull, nothing. This is a noose. Yeah. It's just like, come on, people. But
you could easily make a figure eight on a bite or any other type of configuration to use as a pull down handle.
Right. Exactly. And I haven't worried about tying knots since I was going for my Tenderfoot badge back in the day in the Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts and stuff. But I don't know, man. And then they're going to say it's been there for a year and a half. Okay.
All right, man. That's what I was like.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Okay.
I give up. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know anymore. What's wrong with our society?
Oh, dude, I'm telling you. Hey, nowadays, in today's world, down is up is down, red is blue, blue is red. I don't know. All I know is that I'm looking at a noose.
That's all I see. I see what I see, and that's what I see is a noose.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And then you got a whole bunch of other, NASCAR banned the Confederate flag, and holy shit, did that start up an uproar. And it was going to. I get it. It happened in the past. You can't wash away the past. You can't get rid of it. It is what it is. We have to adapt to new changes. It is what it is.
Well, I mean, if you want to defend flying the Confederate flag, NASCAR, go right ahead. I mean, honestly, that's really all it is. I mean, I know what the flag represents to me, so if I see someone flying it, okay, they must have a certain mind frame.
Mm-hmm.
We're done with, oh man, hey, I'm just a Leonard Skinner fan, Southern rock, done with Southern heritage, done with all that bullshit. we all know what that flag stood for in the story. So then now, if you want to start flying it, then I got certain thoughts about you. I mean, honestly, I mean that's the way it is, and that's what people are going for nowadays, is to really put the flag waivers, the Confederate flag waivers, into a hole. Okay, yeah, if I'm driving through someplace and I see a Confederate flag, I think I'm not welcome here, and I'll just move right along.
That a boy. I'm worried about like the younger youth who have been poisoned with hate their entire lives, and it's going to take another few generations to get rid of that hate.
That hate more than likely will always be there. Now, to what parameter and how much and all that, that's the battle going on now.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to take a few generations to weed out that hate.
But the one thing, and I've said this on my show, is that I've been very impressed by the younger generation when it comes to race relations, because they definitely seem to be a couple steps ahead now. I know a lot of people out there may not agree with what, the riots and all the stuff that's going down, but for the most part, I'm talking about the peaceful protesters and whatnot.
Yeah.
They get it. They get it. I mean, these young people get it when it comes to race relations. It will take a lot of time to weed out racism and racist and all that stuff. But, and I've said this before, all this stuff, all these Facebook posts, you're seeing people's true colors. And it's really amazing to me that how people kind of defend racist behavior. It's very kind of interesting to me how people, that's just, like I was just talking about, that's just Southern pride and Southern heritage. Okay, well, Southern heritage for my people is a little different.
Yeah. Get a new flag then. Or
get no flag. Just dispense of the Confederate one.
Yeah, something completely different.
I mean, you go over to Germany, you don't see statues to the, Adolf Hitler and then, all his Nazi people over there.
No, they
talking about, it's just German pride, German heritage, back in the day, all that stuff. I mean, they got laws on the books banning that stuff.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
And that's the thing. And hate to tell people, but Confederacy lost. Also.
How long ago?
They lost. So, Lincoln tried to bring them back in with, during Reconstruction and all that.
Man, they didn't want none of that.
But once he was killed and once some other things happened, but that's a history lesson for a different day. But when it comes to this flag, man, I'm a black man. So you know how I feel about it.
You are? No way.
So I'm just, that's how I feel. I'm done with it. And, if I roll up and see somebody and it's on a shirt or a hat or something, okay, well, I think I know where you're coming from now.
Yeah. I mean, I never, to me.
And I am the most fair-minded person out there.
You are.
I've voted for both parties. I've been all over the place politically, but, times have changed and, people are just like, look, man, enough of this shit. You got to go down. My wife, she's been to Richmond, Virginia on business trips, and people down there where you got to go down basically Confederate Avenue, where it's all Confederate statues in a town that's probably half black now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's stuff like that, and then to go on, you see it on Facebook, and you see a lot of white friends of mine, and some people that just don't get it. So I don't know. I'm kind of getting tired of trying to explain it to people. I get tired of people coming to me looking for their black guy thought process with it. But, we'll keep the good fight up, I guess.
Attaboy, you keep that good fight up. One of the things I don't understand is why I get tearing down the statue, but there's a way of doing it. There's been...
Well, that's the thing, too. It's like, these statues will come down. The flags will come down due to pressure. I mean, you got meetings now in Mississippi because they still have the old stars and bars as part of their state flag.
Oh, shit, yeah, they do.
So, South Carolina flew it at the Capitol until very recently. You can't, you can't get away with it anymore.
I think going back, sorry, this is a squirrel moment, but the coronavirus thing, in Florida, there was a woman, I retweeted it this morning, where she's saying that masks are terrible and they're killing people.
Oh, well,
What the fuck is wrong? That's one of the things you got to get.
Well, I know. And then there was another lady up there talking about, I don't wear a mask, on my mouth because I want to breathe like other parts of my body got to breathe. And it's just like,
what the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, boy. Okay. You go breathe, then. You go breathe, lady.
And then, I remember,
but see, that's the whole point, though, Matt. That's why this shit will never really get fixed, and that's why we're in a predicament now. It's been politicized.
Yeah, that's true.
So you're on one side or the other with it.
Yeah, there's no middle ground for some people.
Right. So anyway, back to Bubba, though.
Back to Bubba.
I know what I'm looking at here. Now it's funny because the pro flag people are they're trying to paint him as the Jesse Smollett of NASCAR now, like this was some big hoax or some shit. But all I gotta say about this in particular to NASCAR, to Bubba Wallace, and to the people in NASCAR that are finally seeing the light, just keep doing what you're doing. NASCAR has really, built up some cred here with this, and I'm very interested to see if they're going to be in this fight all the way to the end, because they're definitely doing the right thing. Bubba Wallace had a lot of black folks showing up down at that last race, even with everything going on down there in Talladega, to support him. Mm-hmm. Lot of people drove over from Georgia and Atlanta to show him some love. And props to the rest of the drivers out there too, who are on the right side of history. Keep doing what they're doing. And I checked out a few laps of the race where I normally probably wouldn't have. So keep doing what you're doing, NASCAR. Don't give up the fight, as old Bob Marley would say.
Moving on, our last topic of the night. Or sorry, one of the last ones. I almost forgot mine. Congratulations to Vince Carter for 22 years. 22 years. He's finally hanging it up. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine playing 22 years in the NBA?
No. Great player. But, I've heard people talk about this, and I know Stephen A. Smith talked about it a little earlier today. One of those that, had all the potential in the world, probably should have been up there with the Kobes and the Jordans and all this stuff. But once he left Toronto, it just all kind of, I don't want to say went south, because he definitely, has some nice stats, but it wasn't what it was supposed to be. And when he was playing with his cousin Tracy McGrady up in Toronto, and they were doing their thing, it looked like he was definitely going to be up there with the Kobes and all those folks. But all of a sudden, some injuries, but he's pulled it back together and has actually played in 4 different decades.
Yeah, 4 decades he played it.
So that is a very unique. I don't know if it's a record per se, but. Vince Carter can definitely look back at his career and can definitely be proud. But yeah, he definitely, if it would have held together better for him, he would have been up there with some of the all-time greats.
Vince Carter, how old is Vince Carter? Probably mid-40s?
Good question. I don't know if I can look at my phone here, since my phone is my microphone. Oh. But he played 7 different teams. Oh, can you try naming some, Mr. Basketball fan?
Fuck.
I just said one.
Well, you did. So Toronto I knew. That's the only one I know for sure. All right, so Toronto.
No cheating.
I'm not. My phone is it's not near my hand. Toronto. I think Atlanta, because Atlanta was his last place. So the Hawks, because I remember that, because I saw the story about it.
So for lack of time.
Okay, no, I'm trying. I'm trying to think of this. Okay, I'll speed it up. I want to say Lakers.
Nope.
Oh shit. Heat.
Nope.
Damn. Grizzlies?
Here, let's just run this because it's kind of an interesting list.
Okay.
I actually wrote it down here.
Okay.
So from Toronto to New Jersey, played for the Nets, to Orlando.
Nope.
People forget the stop he had from Orlando over to Phoenix.
Yep, don't remember any of that.
Went over from Phoenix. He went to Memphis. Spent a few years. Yep, spent a few years in Sacramento and the past couple, and retired with Atlanta.
So I got like 3 out of the 7.
No, you got.
I said Memphis.
You literally
I
got
said
one.
I know. No, okay, yeah.
You got one.
Okay, whatever.
But anyway, Vince made his money. He's a good dude. He seems to be well liked and well respected. Sports governor definitely wishes him all the best, and one of the best dunkers in history.
For sure.
Better than Michael. And, I mean, the dunks he did in that dunk contest, and even some of the game dunks, and the dunk over the 7'2" dude in the Olympics that year. I mean, folks, if you haven't seen these dunks, just drop the phone there. Google Vince Carter, YouTube Vince Carter. You'll see all you need. Phenomenal. And even going back to his North Carolina days, too, in Tar Heel Blue. Yeah, phenomenal. So, congrats, Vince. Job well done.
All right, so I have a new, what do you want to call it? A new idea. This idea came to me about a week and a half ago. Some people in Minnesota, are Twin Cities personality already came up with this, but I have this idea for a while now. And me being a single dad, I need to make extra money. So I'm not going to lie. I don't know if you have noticed, Vince, I've been doing a lot of TikTok videos. And I'm not going to lie, I've been getting a lot of looks, and people are talking to me and stuff, and I like to do some funny stuff. So, this is what I'm doing. By the way, TikTok is He's Not That Good 47. If you ever want to check it out, I do some weird, stupid shit. I want to start an fans only page. If you don't know what that is, that's basically that you pay a subscription to moi, and I will send you, I guess, private. I'm not sending you private videos. I'm not going that extensive. I don't know. Anything could happen. Money talks. Maddie's poor. I need money. So
this was your good idea.
It's an idea. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but it's an idea. But there might be people out there. I got Layla playing in the background. A lot of people don't know that Vince can't hear none of the stuff, like music and everything else, so I have to tell him. It's a thought. Only me paid, or only fans page. I think the cheapest subscription is like $10 a month. Do you think anybody would pay $10 a month to see me do things on a normal basis?
Good luck with that, my brother.
Well, I'll see. I don't know.
Give it a shot.
I will. I'll give it a shot. See what happens. Dude,
There'll be some lonely ladies out there looking for a little love doctor from the Cannon Falls metro area.
Metro area. It's a 3,000 fucking population. I don't know. It just, we'll see. There's women out there who make like hands over hands, fist over thousands upon thousands of dollars a month. Like
women, though.
You're right, and pretty good looking women too. So there's that. Men are disgusting pigs. We are just disgusting pigs. And I want to see if I can turn that ship around, and maybe some women will probably hit on me. I don't know. We'll find out. I love the attention anyway, so who cares? So yeah, that's basically what it is.
Brother. Wrap it up.
All right. Well, thanks to the writers, producers, on-site engineer that was known as both of us.
I was talking to Jimmy, not the show, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine, too. Well, we probably should wrap it up. It's getting close to your bedtime.
Oh, buddy.
You better sip your bourbon.
Yeah, you're funny. Yeah.
Anyways, thanks to the writers, producers, on-site engineers, known as both of us. In the words of Red Green, keep your stick on the ice. We'll see you back, hopefully, next week. Bye.
Peace.
Bye. Have a good weekend.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Minnesota! You like that? You like that?
We'll probably sit around and
cook some soups and eat bread and desserts and just get all fat and sassy.
What's wrong with you?
It's either this show or indigestion. I hope it's indigestion.
Why?
It'll get better in a little while.